Good evening. Welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. The government today increased the dosage gap between the first and second shots of Covishield to between 12 to 16 weeks. Earlier, it was between 8 and 12 weeks. No doubt, this will help ease the current shortage in the 18 to 45 category, but the opposition says this is an ad hoc policy based on the current shortage and not based on science. So is it science or is it shortage? And will this increasing the gap help alleviate the current vaccine shortage that we're witnessing?
अगले हफ्ते हमें उम्मीद है कि स्पुतनिक वैक्सीन विल बी अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट। अगस्त और दिसंबर के बीच में 216 करोड़ अगर हम इस सीन को लेकर चलें डोजेस भारत में निर्मित हों। आज कोई भी वैक्सीन जो FDA अप्रूव्ड है, WHO से अप्रूव्ड है, इंडिया में आ सकता है। उनको इंपोर्ट लाइसेंस चाहिए, वो 2 दिन में मिलेगा, 1 दिन में भी मिलेगा।
So what are the new norms for vaccines that's been announced? It's not just the gap between doses. Let's run you through these points one by one. Like I said, the most important one is the Covishield gap between the two doses has now been increased to between 12 and 16 weeks. There is, interestingly, no change in the interval between the two Covaxin doses, which right now stands at 4 weeks. COVID survivors must wait at least 6 months before their vaccination. So if you've contracted COVID, you cannot get the vaccine for at least 6 months. The second dose for only after 6 weeks for those who have contracted COVID after the first dose. So that's another change that the government has instituted. Also, very importantly, because a lot of people have been asking about this, pregnant women and lactating mothers both can now take any of the vaccines. They are safe to take, both Covishield and Covaxin. They can take this at any point of time. In the case of pregnant women, they can take it at any point during their pregnancy, and for lactating mothers, at any point after childbirth. So that's really where the situation is as of right now. Let me now go across to our guests. Dr. Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress, is joining us. Dr. Sunila Garg is member of the Lancet Commission and the COVID-19 Task Force. Dr. Sanjeev Nair is Associate Professor at the Department of Nephrology with Savita Medical College. We'll also be joined by Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the BJP, in a moment. I'll start with Dr. Garg first because you're part of the COVID Task Force and part of the Lancet Commission. You know, what is of concern is that nobody is saying, there's a problem with increasing the dosage gap to between 12 and 16 weeks. This is something that even the UK did. It's been recommended by Lancet. So there's no problem there. The issue is the ad hocism. The issue is the flip-flop. Initially, it was, when the first vaccination started in January, Covishield gap was supposed to be between 4 to 6 weeks. And then that got increased to between 8 to 12 weeks. And now today, that's been increased further to 12 to 16 weeks. So this ad hocism is the problem. The flop nature of it is the problem, not so much the fact that it's been increased in itself. Dr. Garg.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking this question. Actually, there is a science behind it. First of all, let me tell you that our endeavor has got to be to immunize maximum number of individuals as of today. Number one point which I would like to bring to your attention, that when this trial was going on, AstraZeneca Covishield trial, when it was going in UK, amongst and other countries, which was carried out in over 25,000 individuals, and only a part of the trial was carried out in India, where only we could do over about 1,000 individuals. So in that trial, we were supposed to give 2 doses of interval at the gap of 4 weeks. But then, and part of the trial was supposed to give for half dose of first dose, half of the quantity of the first dose, and 1 full dose at the as a second dose. But then what happened over a period of time, that the number of doses finished. So some people, they got, second dose at the interval of 6 weeks, some got at the interval of 8 weeks, and some at the interval of 12 weeks. So, you know, when the data was analyzed, the initial hypothesis was that both the doses will be given at the interval of 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
So, you know, but and that was my initial objective, and that was the initial objective of the project. So when we analyzed the project, it was that the 2 doses will give approximately nearing about 70% this thing. But further, when they did the sub-analysis of data, it was found that people who were given the second dose at 12 weeks interval, they got, you know, around nearing 79 to 80% of the seroconversion.
No,
so
no,
that was
Dr.
one thing.
Garg, nobody has a problem
so
with
this,
that. No, the question is, this was known before our vaccination process started, certainly for the 18 to 45 group, which started 1st of May, and certainly before April 1, when the 45 plus group started. So my question is, why didn't we announce 12-week gap right at the beginning?
Absolutely, your question is very, very right. Because we wanted to go as per the protocol. That means we should do 2 doses of both the vaccines, Covaxin and Covishield, at the interval of 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
But then, you know, over a period of time, when we went ahead from healthcare workers to frontline workers to people above 45 years and above, and our, you know, intention was to go to 45 to 30 years of age. But due to, you know, competing kind of priorities and all, where there was, you know, kind of that we must be looking at 18 years plus and all that, which was actually a kind of decision which could have been taken later on. So the doses have fell short. So right now our endeavor is to go to as many individuals.
Okay.
Because you will see in Britain also now.
No, we got that.
I was talking to people who have got one dose.
You are basically admitting that the current shortage had a role to play in the decision to increase the dosage gap. So let me ask Sanju Verma. I come back to that point. You know, Britain, yes, Britain, they decided to have the 12-week gap, but they decided that at the start of the inoculation process. They did not change the gap in the middle of the inoculation process. So at least can we admit that the current, like Dr. Garg said, it's because of the current shortage that we are now increasing the gap?
Zaka, you know, first things first, let me tell you that the very nature of a global pandemic is such that as you move along, you realize that there are various permutations and combinations that can be made to work. And I think the moot point is not that from 4 to 6 weeks, the gap between the first and second dose of Covishield has now been increased to, between 12 to 14 or 12 to 16 weeks. The moot point is, as the Health Secretary pointed out today, that by the end of this year, we will have 216 crore vaccine dosages, enough to vaccinate the entire adult population of India of 94 crore people with 2 dosages. And we will still have a surplus to export because we need only 188 crore dosages, but we will have 216 crore dosages in our custody. So I think that is something that I would like to focus on, because the gap between first and second dose has already been answered by the earlier panelists.
No, so Sanju, can you give us a breakup of where this 216 crore, how much Covaxin, how much Covishield, and number one. Number two, today, as of May, we were supposed to have got between Covaxin and Covishield about 10 crore doses or so. We are nowhere close to that mark. They are saying now by July, they'll get to sort of 12 crore, 15 crore. So if we don't get 216 crore by the end of the year, then who should we hold accountable for it?
I think, Zaka, that's a very important question that you've asked, and I'll come straight to the point without beating around the bush. The number math is something that is out in the public domain. Between July, August and November, December, we will have between 75 to 100 million, that is 7.5 to 10 crore dosages of Covishield. This is something that Adar Poonawala has reinforced on a number of occasions and something mentioned by the Health Secretary today in his press conference. As far as Bharat Biotech's Covaxin is concerned, we will have between 60 to 70 million, that is about 6 to 7 crore dosages, come August or September. And next week, while the Sputnik V dosage is coming, Dr. Reddy's has already said that they are likely to scale up production by August, September to about 7 to 8 crore dosages a month. We are also talking about Zydus Cadila's Zycovir-D, drug which is very effective against COVID-19. Okay. And we are talking of importing from the likes of Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. The Johnson & Johnson drug will actually be manufactured locally by Biological E. There again, we are talking of 7 to 8 crore dosages per month come July, August. So if you just take into account, say 10 crore of Covishield, 7 to 8 crore of Covaxin, 7 to 8 crore of Sputnik 5, 7 to 8 crore of Zydus Cadilla's drug, and 7 to 8 crore of, Sputnik 5, and other drugs like the intranasal spray by Bharat Biotech and Novavax, which Serum Institute is working on, then Zaka, if you do the math, you're talking of 30 to 33 crore dosages that will be available by various manufacturers against the required amount of 22 crore dosages per month to vaccinate the entire adult population. So you need 22 crore, you will have 32 to 33 crores. So there will be a supply.
Even if you have 30 crores
There
a
will be a
month,
supply
even if you
surplus.
have
There
30
cannot
crores
be
a
a
month,
supply
ma'am,
deficit.
even if you have 30 crores a month, it will still take another 8 to 9 months to get to 216 crores. But be that as it may,
No, it will take 5 to 6 months, not 8 to 9 months.
5 to 6 months
8
at
to 9
30.
months, you're being
Ma'am,
very, very pessimistic.
ma'am,
5 to 6 months
at
is
30,
being realistic.
I know, I'm going by your number. At 30 crore, if you take 30 crore a month, at 5 months it will be 150 crores, not 216. But anyway, let's leave that aside. Let's go to Dr. Ajay Kumar, because there is a science behind this, and the British have done this. Lancet has backed this as well. In fact, Lancet has said in their study that they found the efficacy of Covishield, if it was administered between 12 and 16 weeks, it was 81%. SII, the Serum Institute, has also said that between 12 and 16 weeks, their efficacy goes up almost to 90%. The UK health regulator also increased the dosage gap. So there is a science to why the dosage gap has been increased. Yes, you can quibble with the method. You can say, why didn't the government announce this first? Like Dr. Garg said, if this was available this data was available at the trial stage, why didn't we do it straight away instead of now waiting for the shortage to announce the dosage gap? But let's not deny the science, Dr. Ajay Kumar, and you of all people, because you're a doctor.
Look, Zaka, when I heard Sanju ji and Dr. Garg both speaking, one from the political party in power and one speaking from the government, it actually scares me because it gives me an insight into how wrongly or insanely we are doing fighting this whole battle of vaccination. Because look at the maths, what Sanju ji said is evident. I don't want to get into maths because I was just doing this calculation and it was just all over the place, because the fact is, whether it's Johnson & Johnson, whether it's Moderna, whether it's Pfizer, we have no clue on when it's coming. The government also has no clue, at least in the public domain. So we'll only speak on things we have like Covishield, Covaxin and the Sputnik. Now those three are in there. The rest of the things have to be approved, trials have to be done. But what's interesting is what Dr. Garg said, and why I'll tell you. The UK and the Lancet did a clinical study. They did it on 17,000 patients. The data was available in March 6th, published publicly in newspapers on 9th, but it was in the public domain on the 6th of March, recommending 12 weeks longer interval gaps to Covishield. The WHO recommended it in February. Now, there must be something in this madness of this government to decide it in May, saying that, listen, by the way, we are very scientific. And when Dr. Garg said that, oh, by the way, in the clinical trial we did, since some patient didn't come, we looked at the data. You don't conduct clinical trials like that. I mean, I've been a physician myself, and I understand to a certain extent, and I may not be as well informed as Dr. Garg. But you don't get a serendipitous moment in medicine and say that, oh, by the way, so let's do it. Then you test those hypotheses. You test the hypothesis which has come, that whether the data which you did in a small trial, whether it is actually visible or not. You don't make government policies based on serendipitous. And Dr. Garg, I'm very sorry because I feel very pain. No, I'll just complete. I feel very pained when I see this. As a professional medicine person, the laughing stock you're making when we make statements like this. That we decided.
So what is the connection? What is the connection? I will give you a chance, Dr. Garg, to respond to that. But no. What is the connection you're making? What is the connection you're making to the increasing of the dosage gap? Yes, I take your point that if this was known in March, why are we waiting till the middle of May to increase the dosage gap? That point is taken.
Because it's a fig leaf to protect it's one sec. Let me complete. It's a fig leaf to protect the non-scientific perspective.
Okay.
Now they can't dose everybody.
No. I need to come in, please, with your permission.
One sec, let me complete. I'll complete.
What?
Lancet came with its publication in March.
You
WHO came out in
spoke so
February.
much. Let me have my say.
No, one sec. He asked me for a clarification on Juji, so I'm just explaining that point. Then you can please say it. I said that the Lancet came out in March and the WHO came out in February. So they took 15 weeks to decide what
Zaka,
was the
may I
Okay,
please?
okay. I got that. I got that. Okay, Sanju Verma, please respond, and then Dr. Garg. I also need to go to Dr. Nair, who's patiently waiting. So please,
Okay.
quickly, please,
Okay.
Sanju. Yeah.
You know, Ajay Kumar made a few points, Zaka. I don't want to make this into a tutu slanging match, but let me just tell you, Dr. Ajay Kumar is quoting WHO and Lancet. So let me also quote Dr. Anthony Fauci, Chief Medical Advisor to the White House, and Dr. Peter Hotez, the Chief of National Institute of Tropical Medicine at Houston. Both of them have said that the manner in which India is conducting its mega vaccination drive is absolutely commendable. So please, when you say that, you know, we are making a laughing stock of ourselves, Dr. Ajay Kumar, you're actually making a laughing stock of yourself, because don't forget,
No.
Manish Tiwari in Jan 2021 put out a tweet saying, why is the Indian government giving emergency authorization to Bharat Biotech and making Indians guinea pigs? Jairam Ramesh put out a tweet on the 3rd of
No,
January
ma'am,
2021
those are
saying,
political points.
why
No,
is
those are
Covaxin
political
being
points.
given
Let's stick to
approval
the
by
science,
breaching
please. Let's stick
scientific
to the science.
protocols?
We
So
have
you
364
guys
days for the
created
politics.
vaccine
No,
hesitancy. You created
these
vaccine
are political points.
hesitancy.
I'm not getting into political point scoring. I
And
want to
say
go
that
to
why is vaccine
Dr. Garg. Please respond. After that, Dr.
manufacturing
Nair, please.
capabilities are taking time.
No
Who
political
created
point
the
scoring, please.
hesitancy? It was your
Please,
Congress
we
leader.
are facing a catastrophe of a lifetime. Last thing we need is political point scoring. Dr. Garg, because your name was taken, please respond quickly, and then I need to go to Dr. Nair. Yes, please.
Yeah, Dr. Ajay, I
Yes.
will like to bring one more this thing, that basically let's not make a sham of ourselves. From the public health perspective, as I say, I have also conducted lot of trials, but what is my basic objective? I will go by that. My basic objective was that I am going to give the vaccines at, you know, basically 4 weeks interval, so I'll go initially by that. As we have gone ahead over a period of time, you realize that, you know, there is shortage of vaccine, and vaccine must reach to everyone. Today I was talking to Dr. Peter Piot in the evening. He received his 1 dose in December, and then you see second dose they receive of something else. You see, that is how the countries are passing through. It is not that we differ in opinion and we recommend something else. We as technical persons have to give right kind of a approach to and direction to the government. That's where you realize that, you know, even if we are giving these doses at the gap of 12 to 16 weeks interval, that will give, you know, maximum amount of that efficacy,
okay.
and that's how we go ahead with that.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
primarily,
Now
this
let
is
me
how
let me
the
ask Dr.
technical
Nair.
expert has got to be.
So let me ask Dr. Nair. So if indeed we've come to this pass where the vaccine shortage is the #1 issue that we need to deal with, why don't we change the policy to say that the priority for the government now would be to ensure that maximum number of people get at least one shot, albeit it might be at a lesser efficacy, but at least a larger population gets one shot as opposed to a smaller population getting both the shots with a greater efficacy?
Good evening, Zaka. I think that is the direction in which this policy change is moving, regardless of what the government says that is their motive. This change ensures that a larger population will get at least one shot and therefore some degree of immunity. There are 1 or 2 points from the discussion that has already been completed that I want to clarify. One, the UK did start with a 4-week interval and then changed it in January to a larger interval. So that's there. There is data for the multiple papers, in fact, which published from September, October, and the latest in February, which says that there is long-term immunity after a bout of infection, and antibodies last up to 8 months. So there is a scientific basis for that change as well. If you are saying that there is this policy changes because of shortage of vaccines, then the idea of extending vaccines to pregnancy and lactating women goes against that that argument.
Okay.
So the motive of this policy change seems to be definitely to vaccinate as many people as possible.
No, so can
with
I
at
ask
least
you
one dose,
very
so that
quickly?
you have
Is it okay for people to take just one dose? I mean, let's say there isn't enough going around for a second dose for a considerable period of time. Is it all right, medically speaking, if you just take one dose?
it's better than having no doses at all.
Of course.
My worry here is, as a physician who's looked at this develop on the ground, from starting from January, where we had extreme vaccine hesitancy for Covaxin because of statements made, to a point where now we don't want Covishield, but we want Covaxin. We are missing the forest for the trees.
Okay.
Vaccines, whenever they are available, need to be taken at whatever doses are scientifically recommended by the government.
It's better than having nothing. Okay, great.
It's better than having nothing.
Yeah.
But what everybody, including the government, including the media, needs to focus on is, regardless of whether or not you are vaccinated, everybody needs to mask up properly.
Of
because
course.
vaccines will come and go.
Of course.
But we are all arguing about numbers which may or may not fructify 6 months down the line.
True.
So
No, that's a given. That's an absolute
have.
given. No doubt about it. In fact, we've been running that campaign for the last a year plus now. Don't show me your face. Let me. Okay. Final word to both Sanju Verma and to Dr. Ajay Kumar. Sanju Verma. So, fine. You know, let's agree that yes, given the current circumstances, and it's backed by science. Nobody is denying that. It's backed by science. So, given the circumstances, we are now upping the dosage gap to between 12 to 16 weeks. There is nothing wrong in that admission. There is nothing wrong in coming out upfront and saying that.
No, Zaka, I fully agree with you. I think you have made a very nice point. There is no need to feel embarrassed that now the gap between the first and second dose has been increased. There's no need to politicize it. My simple, humble submission, Zaka, is also that, while we keep saying that the government could have done this and done that, don't forget at 138 crore people, our population is equal to the population of 196 countries. We vaccinated close to 18 crore people in barely 115 days. It took the United States more than 120 days and China more than 143 days to vaccinate that number. All I'm saying is, with our resources, we are not only doing the best we can and best we should, but we are actually the fastest in terms of the vaccination rate.
Okay.
And in the next 5 to 6 months, if we import Pfizer, Moderna, if we scale up Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik 5 and Zydus Covid-D, then I think we can vaccinate the entire population. As has been said by Dr. Devi Shetty, he says we can actually vaccinate entire population in a month if everybody scales up production in the next 2 to 3 months. So why do we always behave like naysayers? Why can't we give credit where it is due and say that yes, the government is doing the best that it should?
We will definitely give credit when a bulk of the adult population is vaccinated, and hopefully that will happen sooner than later. Dr. Kumar, I'll give you the final word. As a physician, please, as a doctor, let's not diss the science. The science is there for why the gap needs to be increased.
Look, Zaka, absolutely. Like I appreciate what Dr. Garg said. The fact is, my only concern is when people like Dr. V.K. Paul say in March that, well, listen, we know the Lancet study, we know the data which is there, and 12 weeks are good, but we are not going to follow it. Then you come to May. My only objection is, let science should have been driving the vaccine strategy. It has not been so. I hope the government changes. The second issue is the vaccine preparedness. Sanjuji will say the greatest vaccine thing and everything else, but the fact is we placed the orders only for vaccine in Jan. And the fact is that we did a good job last year. But once I can complete, Sanjuji, I don't interrupt you.
Manish Tiwari said Indian government is making citizens guinea pigs.
Please
question your leaders.
Courtesy.
Please question the hypocrisy of your leaders.
You please speak. Because I can't debate like this.
No, I got to wrap up. I got 30 seconds, Dr. Kumar.
So my question again is very simple. The fact is that we have botched up the vaccination in terms of acquisition of vaccine. The vaccine numbers are coming down. Now, those are serious concerns. We need to, whether it's compulsory licensing of Covaxin or not, those are all different methodologies to fight this, all of us together. The fact globally, the Bombay Municipal Corporation is going for global tender. The fact is that if there is so much of vaccine, according to the Bharatiya Janata Party, then the government of India should be procuring, because we are saying we are getting 200 crores, but why is Orissa doing?
Okay, all right. I got to wrap up. My only hope is that, as Dr. V.K. Paul said today, that we will get 216 crore doses by the end of this year. Hopefully, we will get to that figure, because we need to vaccinate at least 60 to 70% of our adult population if we need to have some kind of herd immunity and if we need to avoid that third wave. That's a wrap of the debate. But as we leave you amidst all this doom and gloom, we've been doing this constant series here on CNN News 18, saluting the COVID warriors who are going beyond their call of duty. Tonight's story is from Mumbai, where a Jain temple there in Andheri has turned into a massive vaccination center assisting healthcare workers.
Vaccination drives are taking place in hospitals, healthcare centers and even in schools. But in a first, a Jain temple in Mumbai's Andheri has turned into a vaccination center.
We are right now inside a Jain temple here in Andheri East, which has been given permission to set up as a vaccination center by the local municipal authority, which is the BMC. Just to walk you around how it has exactly been orchestrated, this, for example, is where the registrations are taking place. You can see there are computers here. Also, what we are told is that besides the staff that has been given by the BMC, you also have other volunteers that have decided to come forward. This particular here is the waiting area. We will now show you inside the particular vaccination center, which has now been set up here. This is where the vaccines are being administered. You can see a senior citizen here, in fact, who's sitting. All protocols being maintained as far as safety is concerned. The SOPs are also being put in place, and this is in fact inside the vaccination center. As you can see, the target being for the first 3 days is around 100, and then depending on further supply, it could also increase.
64 people on the day one registered for being volunteers.
The idea was conceived by the committee members along with the local corporator, and permission was granted by the BMC.
Since 1 year, as you know, that the temples are closed, and so we thought, and the managing committee of Shri Kantinagar Shwetambar Murti Pujak Tapakach Jain Sangh, along with my local corporator Jagdish Anna, they all supported this idea, and they said that nah, this will work. Even our Jain community has that feeling of Sarva Dharma Sambhav, which worked. And as you can see, today we are successfully vaccinating 100 people a day, which we will gradually increase to 200 and up to 400 in the coming week.
Those who are coming to the temple to get the jab say it's all smooth sailing, no big rush and well thought out seating arrangements.
जिसका रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ है और जिसके स्लॉट बुक हुआ है उसको डायरेक्ट एंट्री करके यहाँ पर से बहुत सुविधा के कारण अच्छे से दे दिया जा रहा है.
But supply still remains a concern. Only 100 people are being vaccinated every day and the inauguration of the center was delayed by 4 days.
कल ही मैंने रिक्वेस्ट की है हमारे, तो कल ऑफिस हम लोग कमिश्नर को भी हमारे रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि कम से कम 100 पर डे आप 500 तो दो, एक वार्ड को 500 तो दो, कम से कम 500 देगा तो हम कवर कर सकते हैं. वैसे हम लोग 3-4 दिन, हम लोग 3-4 महीने चलाने, ये ड्राइव कल ही बंद करने का ऐसा नहीं, कम से कम 3-4 महीने यहाँ के जो लोग हैं, मेरे वार्ड के जितने लोग हैं, वो 100% सबने वैक्सीनेशन किया हुआ दिखना चाहिए.
Subject to the availability of vaccines, there are growing calls for more religious places to roll out the vaccine drive. With Herman Gomes in Mumbai, Bureau Report.